Furbished warehouse district, on a spring night, people gather at a creative space. But they aren't here for wine and sculpture. They're here to hear about frogs.
I'm going to tell you a story tonight I call From Silent Spring to Silent Night, A Tale of Toads and Men.
Few biologists have a story like Tyrone Hayes.
The largest chemical company in the world, Novartis, asked us to test their #1 selling product, Atrazine. I never heard of it.
That was 1997, and Dr. Hayes quickly began learning about the world's best-selling pesticide. Using African clawed frogs in his research, he came to a controversial conclusion.
We found that atrazine had demasculinizing effects on exposed males, so the voice box or the larynx didn't grow properly, testosterone levels were really low. We eventually found out that sperm production was really low. We also found out that the exposed males could be feminized. They would grow ovaries or grow eggs.
It's easy to see why people come to listen to Hayes. He's engaging.
Ooh, I know what I'm not drinking tonight.
And funny. But he has one simple way of making the connection between his audience and his frogs.
So as they tell you what atrazine does to this frog's hormones, you should be thinking about what it does to me, to humans.
Atrazine is now the second most widely used pesticide in the U.S. And the EPA has recently drafted a report citing atrazine as a chronic risk, not just for frogs, but mammals, birds, and other wildlife, even when used according to labels. Chemical companies and agriculture associations refute the research, citing the chemical's role in increasing agricultural output and previous studies finding that atrazine is safe.
What is a little bit of poison in an adult is a great amount of poison in a developing infant or even in a developing fetus. What's interesting now is there's discussions that women who breastfeed might have lower risk of breast cancer. And some of the discussions are that those lower risks might be because women who are breastfeeding are mobilizing those toxins from the breast by excreting it into the milk. But those toxins then, which are in the milk, are going into the developing infant. And the difficulty that we're faced with now, as Gina alluded to, is it's one thing to show an acute exposure and a problem, but much more difficult in humans to show that if I get breast cancer or prostate cancer at 50, that it's related to something that I was exposed to from my mother's milk, or it's related to something that I was exposed to in the uterus that came across the placenta.